If you're constantly flashing like this, then I need you to stop now. And in this guide, I'll show you how to become a much more effective flasher. Yo, Scyfe here, just like the knife, and welcome to another educational video. In this guide, I'll be covering flashing and how you can become a better overall flasher. Most players when flashing tend to not focus on where they position the flash in relation to the enemy's location, and as a result, it makes it much easier for the enemy to dodge the flash. One thing that I've noticed a lot in high elo is players dodge a lot of the flashes, but after going over why players are dodging our flashes, I tried finding ways to make it much harder for the enemy, and I can confirm because of that analysis, I'm landing a lot more players, which is helping me win more duels and in return win more games. Some of you may raise the point that each flash agent has varying flashes that work differently, and to that I say yes, but you can apply the same principle, which is flashing in places that are not in their direct line of sight. Let's start off with Breach, an agent with a very strong flash, and when paired with someone like Jet can be very potent, but in the high elo, self-flashing as Breach isn't as effective compared to the other ranks. One way to make it much harder for the enemy to dodge your flash is by flashing in higher positions like this. I see so many players flashing head level, and you're essentially making life much easier for the enemy. A slight tweak in the position of your flash will boost your overall flash rate. One downside to flashing high up like this is if they're too close to the angle, they won't be blinded, thus nullifying this method. However, to combat this, you simply flash low, which works in the same way by not being in their direct line of sight. Let's move on to Reyna. The same principle still stands here, that flashing higher or lower will make it much harder for the enemy to dodge because it's not in their direct line of sight. If you're flashing like the majority of players like this, the enemies will have a field day in destroying the lair and still have the crosshair ahead high. By flashing high like this, they'll have to shoot it and instantaneously bring their crosshair down, giving you that split second edge to kill them. And remember, although not every flash works the same way, the same concept can still apply to all of them. Phoenix flashes are different in the sense that it curves inwards. I see it too often. Players will hug the wall and flash like this, and if you're unaware of the enemy's position, you can end up having the flash go beyond them and not flashing them because of the curvature. What you can do is make sure to listen attentively to your footsteps, and if you're not sure on the exact whereabouts of the enemy, you can flash up behind you and swing out with the flash, making it extremely difficult for them to turn away in time, and if they do turn away, it doesn't matter because you're already swinging out. This is how the different Phoenix flashes look for the enemy. You can clearly see the one on the right is much harder to react to and can ultimately win you that crucial kill. Lastly, the new agent Gekko, which has a very unique flash in that it can blind enemies without being on their screen, whereas every other flash agent cannot blind the full duration if it's outside of their screen. However, it can easily be one shot by classic, and because of that you want to use it wisely by understanding where you want to flash and making sure the flash is almost guaranteed to land. And by applying the concept of not flashing head level, you can significantly increase your flash rate. The same can be said on the other side of the map. You might flash like this, but yeah, again, it's hard to retrieve dizzy without being exposed, and it's highly unlikely the enemy will be blinded as he'll be easily destroyed. But by using the same logic as earlier, a flash like this uses the verticality and map to guarantee instant information and flash. I hope you all enjoyed this short guide, and as always, until next time.